Welcome to the Drew Coaching Podcast, Season 1, Episode 11. This week's show is titled Measure It, and we're going to explore defining and tracking measurable goals together. Drew Coaching is a community of leaders and creatives who are shaping the future. My name is Eric Drew, and here on the podcast, we have a new focus for growth each week. I do this because I love to raise up new generations of leaders. And so each week, I provide a boost for your leadership, creativity, and impact in 10 minutes or less. You can find the episode on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google, or anywhere else you listen to podcasts. I want to welcome our new listeners. Thanks for being here with us. And we go deeper with a one-page coaching focus of the week. You can download that for free from drewcoaching.online. And we also have some social media prompts on Instagram and TikTok for additional encouragement, questions, and as we practice these skills each week. I'd really love it if you like or follow and subscribe so that you don't miss any new content. And also you might share with some growing leaders in your sphere of influence. I know you're also invested in raising up new generations of leaders. So let's jump into content for this week. And so this week our focus is define and track measurable goals. Last week, we practiced clarifying intent, which started with defining the win. And I encourage you to go back and watch Season 1, Episode 10 if you haven't seen that one yet. Once you're wildly clear about your desired outcomes, you get really specific about them. If you want to have great impact, it's important to define and track measurable goals. If the first question to ask for impact is, what is a win? I want you to follow up with, how do we know that we're winning? Now, not everything has to have a numeric goal or outcome, but if you don't have a definitive measure to tell you if you're having your desired impact or not, great success is nearly impossible. This week, we're making things measurable. To do this, we're going to practice two things. First, we're going to define measurable goals, and then we're going to create a scoreboard to track them. So first, define measurable goals. Here are two definitions of the verb measure from the Oxford Dictionary. First, ascertain the size, amount, or degree of something by using an instrument or device marked in standard units. Also, to estimate or assess the extent, quality, value, or effect of something. We all need to answer the question, how do we know we're winning? Or how do we know we're having the desired effect? Now, some outcomes are easy to measure. How many people attended the event? What percentage of our team completed the training? What was their score? Sometimes we can measure effectiveness or outcome based on survey data or asking for people's responses. But sometimes effectiveness can be kind of tricky to measure. The Oxford Dictionary actually says that it can be difficult to measure the effectiveness of a teacher. But you could compare the scores of their students on a standardized test, scores of the students of other teachers. You could compare the average grades of their class, or maybe you want to further define what does effectiveness actually mean for a teacher in this particular school, in this particular community, and then you could develop some measurements of maybe, student engagement, the number of students who participate in class, or maybe parent engagement, the percentage of parents who actually attend parent-teacher conferences. It may take some time and thought to define what is measurable. So maybe one of the most important things to say here about defining a win is, don't let your measure of success be how you're feeling about how you're doing. Define concrete measures that you can see clearly to assess the impact of your work. Next, I want you to create a scoreboard. Once you know how to measure your progress, set up a system to measure and see it regularly. It has been proven that athletes perform better when they can see the scoreboard. Your work will have more impact when you update and monitor your progress regularly. Now, this can be as easy as creating a shared doc for you and your team. List the measurements which define progress and success there, including your most recent numbers or updates. I like to color code mine using green for on track, yellow for at risk, and red for off track. Now, once you have it, keep it open in a tab on your internet browser, or maybe leave the file on your desktop and open it at the beginning of each day. On mine, I like to have the mission statement for my work and maybe an inspirational quote or two. Some people use project management tools like Asana or Monday.com. Your company may have an internal web page where this is easy to post and publish and review regularly, or you might just print it out and stick it on your whiteboard or a corkboard. Your scoreboard doesn't have to be fancy, but you have to be able to update it regularly. You should decide, is each measure able to be updated weekly or monthly, or is quarterly better to track your progress? And then look at it regularly. Create a scoreboard to ensure the positive impact of your work. Finally, I want you to remember that your scoreboard is your friend to continue refining the work you're doing. Remember, the scoreboard isn't a weapon. It is a tool to see how we're doing. For the measures that are on track and having the impact you hope for, celebrate. This is great. For measures that are at risk or off track, learn from your efforts. You might share with others, see episode 8 from this season, or iterate, try something new. That was episode 9 if you want to dive deeper. But your scoreboard isn't a weapon to threaten yourself or others. It's a tool to help you refine your work and ensure the impact you're hoping for. So this week, we're growing in our impact by defining measurable goals, tracking them on a scoreboard, and then using them to learn and recalculate as necessary. Here are a few application questions and actions as you practice this week with us. First, which of your goals are easy to measure? Start with what's easy. Which of your goals are harder to measure? I want you to take the time to think thoroughly and creatively about what you're really hoping to achieve and how to tell if you're achieving it. I want you to create a scoreboard. Again, no need to be fancy. You just want a quick, clear snapshot of your progress, successes, and challenges. Finally, I would love for you to share with someone. What are you learning? My scoreboard has a lot to do with shaping the future by investing in new generations of leaders to grow their leadership, creativity, and impact. I'd love to see you and hear from you on Instagram or TikTok. My username is @DrewCoaching. If you subscribe, you'll never miss our weekly content. If you want something to take with you or share, I encourage you to download for free the Coaching Focus of the Week. You can find that at drewcoaching.online. And here's what I'll keep saying as we wrap up. You are a leader, you are a creative, and the world needs your voice. So define and track what you're working on. I also hope you continue to raise up others to bring hope to life, and remember, we're in this together.